Good morning and welcome to Rise and Shine Manitoba with Luna Brigid. I am so excited for today's show. We had a nice, relaxing, long weekend, and we have tons of amazing guests planned for today. So let's get started. There's a bang in my eye. Let's get that first. There we go. So, wherever you are, please raise your coffee mugs. And cheers with me as I say, there it is. There it is. Making sure the L's right there. Rise and cheers with me as I say, rise and shine, Manitoba. Welcome back to Rise and Shine Manitoba with Luna Brigid. So we have some amazing guests lined up for today. For our first guest later on in a little bit is going to be Harry Siemens with the Farm Report brought to you by Wolf Enterprises. We are also going to have Whitney Redmond from Slowbird Coaching providing her Yoga with Whitney segment. So if you haven't already seen last week's episode of Women in Business, we were blessed to have Whitney Redmond providing an extended Yoga with Whitney segment. So for any of our returning yogis, thank you so much. I look forward to having her on later. And last but certainly not least, we're also going to have Donna in from Systems Beauty College giving her beauty and styling tips with Donna segment. So without further ado, let's get started. So quickly before we have Harry Siemens come in, I'm just going to share a little bit. I'm just going to call it Luna's lesson of the week. One of the main lessons that I have learned this week is, well, first of all, how everything is connected, and that with all of our extra time at home, with being, just what's going on right now, all the extra time we have at home, it is so vital that we utilize that for ourselves as well as all of our other responsibilities, but especially in that extra time doing self-care. So just focusing on self-growth and your own mental health, and where you can learn new lessons, grow as a person, and just that necessary self-care. And so one of those lessons I learned was how everything is connected. And the more aware the more aware you are of your own self, the happier that you are. Because then if you can't be honest with yourself, you can't be honest with anybody else. And I guess the other main lesson I learned this week, which we have been discussing, I guess this entire month, is adaptability. There's so much in life that we can't control. And I think one important, I was thinking important and lessons, so I said important, whatever that word means, important life lesson that I've just continuously learned and remembered and tried to learn and remember is to focus on what you can control and let go of what you can't. And with so much in this universe right now being out of our control, that's why I use the phrase ride the wave. We have to just ride the wave and let be what will be with what we have no say in or no control in, but then focus on what we can do. And what we can control is how we react to things around us. So we can't control other people's actions or the world's actions, but we can control our reaction to their actions. And that sounds super cheesy, but whatever I say to myself all the time, because that is probably one of the most important life lessons I've learned. So that's my little life lessons with Luna, a little segment as we segue into our first guest, which is going to be Harry Siemens. So after we hear some wonderful words from one of our wonderful sponsors, Anada, we are going to have Harry Siemens with the Farm Report. So Rise and Shine Manitoba. We'll be right back after this quick break. Welcome back to Women in Business with Luna Brigid. I am so excited for our next segment. I'm sure you'll recognize him and his bright, smiling face on this a little bit cloudy Monday morning. Up next, we are going to have Harry Siemens with the Farm Report. Good morning, Harry. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. After I got all the cobwebs out, here we are. It's a beautiful Monday morning.
Fair enough. So, I guess kind of one topic that's kind of been on discussion, just to get right up and ready to go. This past month, so we just, I guess, celebrated our 1-year anniversary of essentially when COVID first hit Manitoba. And I know there's been lots of, I guess, reviews and reflections over this past year. So I guess my first question for you, Harry, is how has this year in COVID impacted farmers?
I just happened to be with 3 of my brother-in-laws for an Easter gathering on Saturday night, and they're fairly big farmers. And I remember Jack Fraze telling the group, he said, "You know what? We've been really fortunate. It hasn't affected agriculture like it has. It did affect certain segments because we had, a cattle processing plant shut down in Red Deer, Alberta. We had a hog plant slow down in Red Deer. Actually, they shut down as well. Maple Leaf and Brandon almost shut down. And there were plants in the United States that shut down. The hog price is set in the United States. So whatever happens in the US affects the farmers here directly. And so that was probably the biggest challenge, the cattle producers and the hog producers. But that's, that's all settled out. It's actually sorted itself out, and we're back on track. And so when you look at the grain side, like the grain side, that really, they all social distance, right? I mean, you got one guy on a tractor and you got one guy in the truck, and they're miles apart often. So that's been great. The markets, the prices have all rebounded from last fall, and we've talked about that. And we've seen canola prices at record levels. We've seen all the prices up at really good levels. So that in itself is also good. The only concern that farmers have with COVID is that if one of their hired, like farmers go pretty thin on employees. So the big thing there is, as long as none of their people get COVID, because it would mean maybe a tractor have to stand, because they would have to reinitiate and reorganize and get somebody else to come in. The other thing, we depend a fair bit, especially in the hog sector and the vegetable sector, on foreign workers. That thing finally has been sorted out, but they all have to, quarantine for 14 days when they come here. So that's the other side of it. But as a rule, it's looking pretty good, and I think it's almost business as normal.
Well, that actually, the last comment actually brought up a really good question in my head. See, like you mentioned, like the international workers that typically, work. So how is that working now with international travel? I guess for the most of this past year, international travel being canceled, and now I think they're slowly introducing international travel with certain precautions. How does that work right now with travel being restricted?
The federal government just came up with some new guidelines for foreign workers because they're essential. They're doing work, and this isn't a slight. They're doing work that a lot of people in Manitoba don't want to do. I mean, we have some remote farms, and we have and a lot of Filipinos. They come in, they work here for 4 months, and then they go back and they make enough money in that 4 months so they can feed their entire family and do stuff back home, and then they come back here again. I understand there are some farms that have had the same Filipino workers come for 20, 25, 30 years. They've come back and come back. So the federal government made some provisions that they have to come here. They got to get their testing done, and then they can go straight to their farm home in order to quarantine. So it's going to work. I just did an interview with one of the industry representatives last week, and that's what she told me.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm glad to hear that they are working around it, because you're right, it's not fair for them to lose their entire income when their family depends on it. So I'm
Totally.
glad that our government is making some modifications and some arrangements so that they also don't lose their jobs as well. So honestly, it's crazy how fast the time goes. So I guess in the remaining time, I want to elaborate on the other topic you mentioned about hog prices and grain prices. So when you mentioned that grain prices actually went through the roof, that was kind of shocking to me, just because it seems like the rest of the country, the economy is basically in the toilet. So can you explain to me how farmers are doing so well right now with prices, when it seems like our economy in other areas is suffering a little bit?
The biggest thing is, number one, we all have to eat. There's
Right.
still provision being made that not everybody gets enough food, but everybody has to eat, right? And we're increasing the numbers of people all the time. So that's number one. So the short answer for the grain prices is that the demand increased, the supply was less, and the supply, because of the demand, was disappearing faster than that they had thought, and it just kept
Okay.
moving the price up. And China is a huge player, and they're feeding 1.2 1.3 billion people, and
Right.
so they move the market when they start to buy. And so, but this isn't all China. This is demand from around the world. And the hog price is the same thing. Once the processing industry was able to get things on track, the demand for pork just kept on going up and up and up, and especially in China. That 80% of the protein consumed in China is pork. And
Oh,
so,
wow.
yeah, and that's a lot. And they lost, through other ways, they lost almost 400 million pigs through the African swine fever. And so it's a challenge. So for North America, the farm prices are looking pretty good. The bigger challenge we have right now here in southern Manitoba is it's very dry, and you need moisture. So we've talked about that before.
Yeah. Well, in a sense, that actually makes sense, because I guess if supply is low but demand is high, then you have to compensate by then I guess charging more. But then I guess as the universe balances out and maybe the supply becomes higher, and then maybe they can lower the prices a little bit. I am so thank you for clarifying, and that does make sense. And I do agree with you on the spring weather. That seems like that's been the main topic of discussion. But hopefully, hey, it's cloudy today, so hopefully that means we might get a little bit of extra rain coming in today.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
But thank you so much, Harry. I wish I could talk to you for the full hour, but we have several other guests to talk to as
Oh,
well.
and you know what? And that's great. You bet. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. And I'm glad you had a wonderful long weekend. You have a wonderful day. I heard you getting your hair done again today. So have a wonderful haircut.
Yes.
Enjoy your Monday. You deserve it. And we'll see you again in, I guess, a week from today.
Thank you. Same to
Bye,
you.
Harry.
Bye.
Well, as per usual, that was always so much fun. I always thoroughly enjoy talking to Harry. He is a delight to have on the show. And I am excited to have him again a week from today. So please do not go anywhere. Stay right where you are. Rise and Shine Manitoba with Luna Brigid will be right back after this quick commercial break.
Why go solar? It's not just for the environment, although that is a great reason. Did you know that when you install your new solar plant, you are only paying 7 cents per kilowatt? That's right, 7 cents! Solar is now cheaper than buying electricity, 25% cheaper than buying it from Manitoba Hydro. Going solar is different from any other investment you will make in your life, as you will retain the value on your roof. Solar does not depreciate like other investments do, and unlike a GIC, your investment will start paying you from day one. And when you choose to sell your home, well, you will get the cost of the solar back, as this investment rarely depreciates. When choosing solar, look for high-end products like microinverters with 10 to 25-year warranties. Make sure your installation is done by a professional. We are Evolve Green, and we are celebrating 12 years in the industry and can help you put your roof to work for you. Ask also about your options like battery backup for when the grid fails, and how about solar heaters to get rid of snow buildup? Are you a farm or a business? Did you know that your solar is a 100% tax write-off? Yes, that's right. You can write off all the cost for the solar in the year you purchased it. This is a perfect investment for any business. In Manitoba, the portion a resident customer sells to hydro is also a tax write-off in the first year. Farms pay no PST on solar systems. We build, design, and supply the best in solar power for both on and off the grid. For experts you can trust, call or email Evolve Green today. 1-866-5-EVOLVE or support@evolvegreen.ca.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Manitoba with Luna Brigid. So just to quickly, mention the elephant in the room. I mentioned earlier a quick goof. I said women in business. I do both shows, so why not prompt it while I quickly address that. I also have women in business on Thursday, so occasionally you will see me mix up the names, but that's just because I'm human, and people mix up names sometimes. So the next segment on Rise and Shine Manitoba is going to be our Yoga with Whitney segment. And now I will say, last week on Women in Business, we had Whitney Redmond give her extended Yoga with Whitney segment. So as I mentioned earlier in the show, for any of our returning yogis, thank you for coming back. And if this is your first time watching it, if you have a yoga mat, grab it. If not, you can just watch this from wherever you are. And as per usual, since all of our videos are all saved on our ASTV Productions website and social media accounts, you can always rewatch any of these episodes whenever you want, including Yoga with Whitney. So without further ado, I will hand us over to Whitney Redmond.
And welcome to this week's short yoga segment. We're going to be starting on our mat. You could be doing this first exercise standing or on your knees. We're going to be starting with some neck stretches. So stretching your right arm to your side, taking your left hand, placing it on the right side of your head, and gently applying pressure so that you start creating some length in that right trap muscle. Breathing in and exhale. And switching sides, left arm extends, right arm, top of the head, light pressure, and stretch. Inhaling deeply into the belly, and exhale. Inhaling one more time. And exhale. Now, if you'd like to find yourself at the top of your mat, we're going to be standing facing the front of our mat, stretching our arms upwards, lengthening that spine, lengthening those side bodies, and then diving down, putting our hands on our shins or on our knees, on the floor if you feel that stretchy. We'll be putting here on my knees, making sure that your back is flat. Pushing upwards, stretching up, and diving down. And then with your right foot, we're going to be planting our hands and pressing our right foot backwards with the toes facing the long side of your mat and cartwheeling your arms like so. This is your warrior two, making sure this left knee does not go over your ankle. With your gaze over those fingers, bringing your belly button into your spine. Strong arms, strong warrior pose. Inhale and exhale. And then we'll cartwheel our hands back down and repeat on the other side. So pushing your left leg back, pushing into plank. We'll hold this for 10, 9, bringing your belly button into your spine, 8, 7, pushing through the shoulders, having that strong integrity through the shoulders, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stepping that right foot in between your hands. Foot is flat, cartwheeling those arms, strong warrior pose. Inhaling, creating space between your ears and your shoulders. Bringing that belly button in towards the spine, strong integrity in this warrior posture. Making sure that knee does not go over the ankle. Inhale and exhale. And we're going to cartwheel those arms again. Stepping into plank, knees down, and last pose, pushing those hips back into child's pose. Stretching that upper back. Bringing your chest to your knees. Inhale deeply through that belly and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Bringing yourself back to your hands and your knees. Just taking a moment to tune in to the settledness of your body, the peace of your body. Maybe closing your eyes if you want. Noticing your breath. And opening your eyes when you feel safe to do so, ready to move on with your day. Thank you for joining me in this yoga segment. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Whitney. Honestly, that was an amazingly relaxing and energizing start to our Monday mornings, especially since so many people probably had maybe a little bit too much to eat over the weekend with it being the Easter holiday. So as I mentioned earlier on before Whitney took over, all of our shows and segments are all saved. So if you were at work this morning and maybe didn't have time or space to do a full-fledged yoga segment right in your office, but hey, if you did, massive kudos to you and massive respect, then you can always check out our website below, Amateur Sports TV, where all of our episodes, including this one, as well as all of our Yoga with Whitney segments, will all be downloaded and saved on there. So for all of our wonderful viewers watching, they can all rewatch any episode or segment from the comfort of your own home or gym or wherever you choose to do your yoga practice. So after a quick commercial break, we are going to have Donna in from Systems Beauty College, providing her beauty and styling tips with Donna segment.
I think Systems Beauty College is a little bit unique in respect to the way we teach our program. We don't do so much structure and learning and block teaching. Everybody can move along at the pace that suits them.
Well, it's a combination of being both independent and dependent, which I like because you have a little bit of both, and it makes it fun because you can go on your own and create new styles and whatnot, and yeah.
And welcome back to Rise and Shine Manitoba with Luna Brigid. So as we segue into our beauty and styling tips with Donna segment, I just have one quick announcement. So if you've liked what you've seen, I'll say when. Let's remain optimistic. Whenever you've tuned in to Rise and Shine Manitoba, if you've liked what you've seen and you own a business, please contact myself or MBNS TV or ASTV Productions, because now we are all just under one name, ASTV Productions. We would love to advertise you on our show and have you come in for your own segments. So if you are an original fun business or just and want to have a segment, or you just want to take part in advertising, whatever floats your boat, please let me know. I would love to partner with you and promote your business on the air in whatever segment essentially best fits your business. I would also love to represent you on the advertising end and help promote you that way too. Either way, we are looking for partners to partner with us. So if you want to take part in this absolutely crazy journey and partner with this crazy blonde strange human that you see every Monday and Thursdays on your computer and TV screens, please let me know. I would love to continue this journey with you as well. So now after this break, we legitimately are going to have Donna on, and this seems like a good commercial break to hear from Donna directly. So Rise and Shine Manitoba with Luna Brigid will be right back after this quick break from Donna.
Think Systems Beauty College is a little bit unique in respect to the way we teach our program. We don't do so much structure and learning and block teaching. Everybody can move along at the pace that suits them. Everybody can move along at the pace that suits them. If they can move faster, they do so. Therefore, learning everything earlier and getting more practice in all segments of hairstyling as opposed to just being stuck in one section for a certain period of time. So we try to accommodate all the different learning styles.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Manitoba with Luna Brigid. I'm having so much fun on today's show. It may be kind of cloudy outside, but it's bright and fun in here, and that's the main thing. You bring light wherever you are, even if it's not literally light outside. So aside from a cheesy line, here is our beauty and styling tips with Donna segment. And without further ado, I will leave it over to Donna's very capable hands.
Tips and tricks on curling with a flat iron. First, you're going to want to make sure that your hair is completely dry and that it's been sprayed with a heat protectant. Then, when you start combing your hair to make it nice and smooth, you apply your flat iron like you normally would to straighten your hair, and then all you do is you flip it upside down while you move it down the hair shaft. The skinnier the section and the slower you go will make a tighter curl. The bigger the section and the quicker you go will make a looser curl. You can also play with different angles and different sizes of hair and see what happens. But that's basically it.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Manitoba with Luna Brigid. So that was a little quick tidbit from Donna with our beauty and styling tips with Donna. We're also going to have her come again in a couple of weeks for another one of her segments. So after this quick commercial break, please don't go anywhere. We have so much more planned on the show. So Rise and Shine Manitoba will be right back after this. Welcome back to Rise and Shine Manitoba with Luna Brigid. So, if you tuned in to last week's episode, and I really hope you did, we had a brand new segment called Teacher Talk. So, for any of our viewers that don't know, or maybe, hey, maybe this is your first time tuning into the show, so you haven't heard about it yet. I have a little bit of a teacher background. I just finished my, university education in teaching. And so I was super excited to start our new segment last week, Teacher Talk. And I am so excited. We have so many other fun directions that we're going to take with that segment. So that is one of our announcements that I'm super excited to announce. So if for all of our fellow teachers or parents who want to be in the know-how with everything teacher related, please tune into the upcoming shows and mark in your calendars, because I prompted every episode. I always do. Rise and Shine Manitoba every Monday mornings, 10 a.m. This crazy blonde on your Monday mornings. It makes life more fun, and it makes at least your mornings a little bit spicier in the mornings. So yes, we are going to have our teacher talk coming up in the next few weeks with some great new segments. We are also going to have Pure Anada Cosmetics coming in soon as well to give their beauty tips as well as so many other segments and new segments coming up. And here's the thing, is that our segments are inspired by the amazing advertisers that want to partner with us, because essentially what at least I try to do on my end is I try to fit a segment around who you are as a business and who you are as a person, and especially if you are a strong woman, then and a strong businesswoman as well, then yes, would also love to have you on Women in Business. But as far as segments for Rise and Shine Manitoba, we create them around you. So that's why I'll use today's show as a prime example. Slowbird Coaching is a wonderful business dedicated to strong mental health, breath work, and a strong mind, body, and spirit, and also helps you overcome emotional eating. So that's why Yoga with Whitney was a perfect segment for her, because that's who she is and that's what she does. So that's what I'm saying, that if you own a business, especially if you have a creative business that would be a great idea for a show, please let us know, and we would love to make a segment around you and your business to help take your business to the next level. So thank you so much for tuning in. This has been such an amazing show. So as we sign off, wherever you are, please raise your coffee mugs and cheers with me as I say, Rise and Shine Manitoba. Have a wonderful day, stay safe, and enjoy your Monday morning. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Why go solar? Solar is better than ever. Our revolutionary design and inverter equipment with the latest in solar panel technology for the ultimate in-home and business security. That's right, I said security. Grid security and security of your home are linked. Fortify your future today with a battery backup system. No maintenance, quiet running. Did you know in Manitoba, grid-connected, off-grid, and battery backup systems are 100% right off in the year you purchase for any company or farm? Do you want to back up your internet, keep your tills running, and the lights on? We can install a system that is right for you with battery backup fully capable of taking on all those essential loads and keeping you running. When you call our experts at Evolve Green, ask about getting your free energy audit today. Call or email today to find out what system works best for you. 1-866-5EVOLVE or support@evolvegreen.ca. Also, be sure to check out our website at www.evolvegreen.ca.